Mamaroneck replaces 2 GOP trustees with Democrats.
No change in Larchmont's village board from last week's election.
A 5.6% tax hike proposed for Larchmont.
The owners of Barney Briar have thrown in the towel, at least in one battle with the town.
What's the latest on the new sewer?
Betty Crocker lives in Larchmont.
And spring cleanup has begun.
Those stories and some other features in our weekly weather report, all on Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello, I'm Norum.
And I'm Sven Oehme. Welcome to our first full week of spring and Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Our top story.
Quite a surprise for Mamaroneck Village Republicans. Last week's election cost them 2 seats on the village board. One by Democrats, Archie Giannunzio, who served as a trustee 10 years ago, and Steve Goldstein, incumbent. Republican Martha Sokol-McCarty retained her trustee seat. Virginia Newmeister and Todd Noble lost their GOP trustee seats. And Democrat Gloriana Palancia made quite a respectable showing at the ballot box in her first try at elected office in Mamaroneck. And of course, not to forget Village Justice Roger Serlin, who won another re-election bid to serve on the village bench. He ran unopposed. Over in Larchmont, unopposed, Mayor Cheryl Louie was re-elected along with fellow Democrats Judy O'Gorman and William McSherry, and Marianne Mumma. Ms. Mumma will finish serving out the 1-year term of Ava Birdsell, who left the village board for personal reasons. Richard Ward, the only Republican running for Larchmont trustee, lost out. Viewers got a rare live look inside Larchmont Village Hall election night. LMC-TV covered the election live. Simultaneously on Channel 14, the election results for Mamaroneck were presented, while Channel 15 delivered the Larchmont tallies and activities. For a glance at some of the principles of election night, here's a sampling.
If someone needs some help with something like that, I'd like to see that industrial area continue, because that is a major concern in the village today. And if it does, it's good.
That's the industrial task force.
Right. That must go on. Someone's got to pick that up. And I hope Joe appoints someone soon.
What was the most satisfying element of serving as a trustee on the village board?
Well, working with the people on Baldwin Place with the throughway, that was very satisfying, because
you actually saw the fruits of your accomplishment.
Right, exactly. That was positive. Working with the environmental issues, that to me was very positive. I'm still going to be involved in the Watershed Advisory Committee, as well as the Historic Maritime Advisory Commission, which the appointment I got was from the Secretary of State. So those are things that I'm still going to work for.
14 years ago, I thought the village was in the financial shape that could use my expertise, and 14 years later, I thought they're in the same position, so I'm back here to hopefully help with the finances.
And has life changed to enable you to do this now?
Yeah, when I left office after serving for 4 years, my children were at an age where they needed me. Now, my older son got married on Saturday.
Oh, congratulations.
So he's living in the village. My second son is graduated from college and probably soon to move out. And my daughter is getting ready to go off to college. So it's, time for me to, serve the village again.
Congratulations, you're going to be the sole female on the village board now.
That's an awesome thought.
I mean, how are you going to contend with all these men?
I think I can take them, Roger. I'm tough enough.
Okay. How do you feel about the election?
As I said before, it's very bittersweet for me. Todd and Ginny, not besides being good employees and hardworking for the village, they really have become personal friends for me. So it's very sad to see them go, especially when somebody wants to continue doing what they're doing and you think they've done a good job. But the reason I'm here is not to be friends with Ginny and Todd, but to serve the village. And so I look forward to, I know I work well with Joe and Walter, and I hope I will work well with Archie and Steve.
It's going to be a challenge. Where we didn't take the majority position, which I would have liked. We have a lot of problems that we're going to have to deal with in the village that the Democrats, the three of us identified.
What's on the top of the list?
Getting the budget in order, trying to keep down the tax rate increases, trying to unravel some of the messes that have been made in some of the projects, trying to put things right.
Do you think with being a 2 or 3-2 minority that you'll be able to accomplish much?
I don't honestly know. I hope that common sense will win out and that we will be able to make some real inroads into the problems and that we'll identify things that perhaps they just never considered, and therefore we will have some successes. It's hard to say. If they band together purely for political motive, no, we won't get anywhere, and it'll be the village's loss.
This has been a fabulous 6 weeks. I couldn't have more fun and meeting people and learning about the issues. And I'm excited. I'm ready for next year.
And, are you planning to make another run?
I'm going to think about it, but I really love this village. I love the people, and had a lot of fun doing it. And
how are you going to stay active in the village politique while you're not on the village board?
I've got Steve and Archie, and I'm sure they'll keep me busy.
Okay.
The village court handles both civil and criminal cases. Every civil case in this community comes before me for monetary damages, dispossessed proceedings, people who have monetary claims against one another. Every criminal case comes through our community. We have misdemeanors and felonies. Felonies flow through our court en route to the county court. Obviously, we have the traffic tickets.
Oh, yes, one we all know well, yeah.
Parking tickets. We also have the code violations for any violations of our municipal codes. And since we're on the water, we also have the DEC violations and the waterfront violations.
In other words, people who are misusing their boats or not complying with ordinances.
Well, up to drunk operation of boats, speeding in the harbor, people who take lobsters that are too small or too big. We run the whole gamut of DEC environmental regulations.
It's a happy night. I'm happy. We had 4 wonderful candidates on the Democratic ticket, and I am so pleased that the electorate saw that that was the caliber of person we had and chose to re-elect them. I think that there was an issue that had to do with experience, and the experience of our people carried the day. And perhaps some of the people did not really feel that Larchmont is the kind of community where you need one candidate to represent a faction, such as people who've lived here a short period of time. Because I think traditionally the board has always recognized the village, and I'm happy to see that validated by the electorate.
Thrilled. I was thrilled when Cheryl called me and asked me originally to fill the seat, and I've become increasingly more thrilled as each day goes by. And I'm delighted that we were all victorious tonight, that the board will stay the same. And I've told Richard I hope he stays involved. I think you have a lot to say, and we'll look forward to working with you. Fran Snedeker was our campaign chairman, and she was absolutely sensational. I mean, all I had to do was get up and get dressed in the morning, and Fran took care of everything else. Told me where to go, when to be there, etc. It was terrific. I thank everybody. I'm looking forward to this opportunity. I also feel kind of like the oldest person around, and I am the oldest. I can no longer hide my age. Noreen asked me that when she originally called me. You all know how old I am. But I hope to live a lot longer because I love this community, and I'm really looking forward to working for it.
What prompted you to run for this office?
I was asked to run, and I thought that I should do that. I believe in public service, and when called upon, one should serve.
And you seem to have done rather well. The numbers weren't that far apart, really, considering that the full constituency came out. Do you think you would like to try again?
Well, I haven't made any decision on that. I think the weather did hurt us tonight. It's pretty nasty out there, but it was a good turnout nevertheless, and we appreciate everyone coming out to vote.
Especially at this juncture where we have the police study going on, the fire study going on, and so many changes in the outside world affecting us. Our background hopefully will serve you well in the village, and I appreciate the opportunity to take all the knowledge and homework that I've done and apply it for the entire community, which of course includes me and the rest of us up here.
This is a participatory democracy in its smallest form, in its closest form to what we all do, how we all live. This is the government that you can come to complain to, which you can come up to on the express line at Grand Union and say, I don't like what this is all about, what that's all about. Everybody's phone number is in the directory. Some people are laughing because they know they've taken advantage of that ability to call me or any of the other people up here.
We all intend to work hard and represent all the residents of the village of Larchmont. We all look forward to serving another 2 years. It's a great village and a wonderful opportunity to serve our community, and I'm very privileged to have that opportunity.
Our hats off to all the volunteers and staff at LMC-TV for attempting a bold change in election night coverage and offering area viewers something really different. It was also my pleasure, along with Alice Bloom and Glenna Gray, to be a part of the election night coverage on LMC-TV.
Yeah, I thought LMC-TV did a very good job. At least I was able to watch it until I lost power that night.
That's right. It was a rather blustery evening, and I imagine hundreds were without power for quite some time, from Orienta all the way up to the high school.
Yeah, and just before you were about to announce the election results, I lost my power.
Sorry about that.
Another chapter has been closed in the Barney Briar saga. 2 years ago, the Mamaroneck Town Council rezoned the areas of the town where the Barney Briar Country Club and Winged Foot Golf Club are located. Under the new zoning law, the use of the land is restricted to recreational activities. A syndicate that owns Barney Briar and that had come up with plans to develop land adjacent to the fairways sued the town after the town council decision had been made. In the first lawsuit, the syndicate had argued that the town had manipulated environmental law in its favor. In a recent court decision in favor of the town, it will not be appealed by the syndicate. And in a second lawsuit, the syndicate's attorneys have argued that by rezoning the area, the town tried to remedy community problems by putting an unconstitutional burden on the landowner. This lawsuit is pending before state Supreme Court. Roger.
Now that the election is over, it's time for the municipal budgets to be revealed, at least the proposed budgets. Under the fiscal microscope in Larchmont is a more than $10.5 million proposal by the village treasurer, Carmine DeLuca. The budget proposal in its current form would hike taxes for Larchmont residents by 5.6%. Mayor Cheryl Louie is quoted in the Daily Times saying, "The line-by-line analysis has been done. The next step is for the Board of Trustees to make some of the larger policy decisions on the budget." Republican trustee Ken Bialo has already voiced the concern that the proposed budget in Larchmont increase is well above the local rate of inflation of around 2.5% to 3%. Larchmont residents will have a chance to voice their approval or concerns about the budget at the two public hearings in Village Hall. The dates are April 8th and April 22nd. After the public hearings and the revisions, the budget officially takes effect in Larchmont on June 1st. Remember, the public hearing dates for the Larchmont Village budget are April 8th and April 22nd in Village Hall. Sven?
There's a new Betty Crocker, and a part of her lives in Larchmont. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News spoke with Betty Comerford.
Well, in September, General Mills, who owns Betty Crocker, decided it was time for Betty Crocker to have her 8th makeover. And as part of that, they decided to hold a nationwide search for women who they felt represented the characteristics of Betty Crocker. And those 4 characteristics are love of cooking and baking, commitment to friends and family, resourceful and creative in everyday tasks, and community involvement. So they had a essay contest where women across the country could send in essays from their husbands, co-workers, friends, that describing how this person met those characteristics.
There are probably lots of essays sent in? Or
yeah, they said there were close to 10,000 essays sent in. And from that, they narrowed it down to, I think, 300 finalists. And at that point, I was one of the finalists. Actually, someone from my office was the one who submitted the essay about me, who knows a lot about my background. And she sent the essay in, and I was picked as a finalist, had my photograph taken, and at that point in January, I was notified I was a winner. And what they did is they actually took the photographs of the 75 women and did a...
So it was 75 winners?
Yes, 75 winners nationwide. And from those, we all had our picture taken at the same angle, the same lighting, so that they could take those pictures and make a computer composite. So they had a company, a software company down in Florida, generate a computer-generated composite, which was then given to a watercolor artist who painted the new portrait.
And that's why I said at the beginning there is not one new Betty Crocker,
right.
Or you are part of
I'm part of the new composite, yeah, and the new face of Betty Crocker.
So what did you win? You're getting Betty Crocker products for the rest of you.
No, every winner received a diamond-studded Betty Crocker spoon, which is their logo. And then in addition to that, $500 will be given to my local school, which my children attend, Chatsworth Avenue Elementary School. And that money, actually, as it turns out, will be used in renovating the kitchen at Chatsworth.
So very appropriate.
Appropriate for this. And then the other prize is 75 Betty Crocker food products will be given to a local shelter, and I picked the Hope Food Pantry in New Rochelle.
So Betty Crocker, the new Betty Crocker, is kind of a composite of all these other...
That's right, 75
ladies.
75
Boy,
ladies.
That's quite
a composite.
Yeah, really. There's a new curriculum at the Hommocks Middle School about to take effect. Details from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
The sixth graders from Mamaroneck Avenue and Murray Avenue schools will attend classes at the middle school in September. The sixth grade will be on the third floor of the South House. The students will be taught by 6 teacher teams. Each team will also have a resource room teacher. The new curriculum will revolve around essential questions, which will be developed and answered through various subject areas, such as math, science, and social studies. This Hommocks plan is similar to what already exists at the Chatsworth Avenue School.
Sewer main has to be built connecting the Westchester Joint Waterworks plant at the Larchmont Reservoir to a Mamaroneck Town sewer line that runs under Weaver Street. The total cost for the project, $52,000. The $52,000 will be split based on the amount of water consumed between Harrison, Mamaroneck Village, and town. The town of Mamaroneck will have to pay $11,500, Mamaroneck Village $16,600, and the balance of $23,900 will be picked up by Harrison. The new sewer has to be built to keep chlorinated water out of the Sheldrake Reservoir. Already in 1990, Westchester Joint Waterworks had proposed to construct the main, that time for $35,000. According to the Daily Times, construction couldn't start then because Larchmont didn't grant a needed easement at that time. The easement has now been granted. Construction of the main has to be completed before the State Department of Environmental Conservation will be in a position to grant a permit to renovate and upgrade the septic system at the water plant at the reservoir.
The election night coverage by LMC-TV afforded us the opportunity to do our first interview with the new village manager of Mamaroneck, Michael Blau. For those of you who have not been introduced, here he is, compliments of LMC-TV's live election coverage last Tuesday night.
What made you decide to even apply for the village manager position here in Mamaroneck?
Well, I've been in Westchester for 8.5 years in Terrytown, and I felt that this was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. The village of Mamaroneck is approximately double the size of the village of Terrytown, and it was just presented a professional opportunity that I thought was terrific, and I thought, why not go for it?
Okay. One question I'm sure you've been asked probably many times already. If you haven't moved to Mamaroneck, when are you?
Actually, I'm moving next month.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Whereabouts are you going to live?
I'm going to be living in Top of the Ridge. in the condos.
What are some of the aspects of Mamaroneck Village as you and as village manager? What do you see are challenges, things that you can sink your teeth into and get accomplished?
Well, I see issues such as Mamaroneck Avenue, trying to make improvements, improve the streetscape, make it more pedestrian oriented. In the industrial area, trying to make that not necessarily, I don't want to use the concept user friendly, but to make it a better place to conduct business and to look at those issues and to essentially just go throughout the community and see where improvements can be made. Obviously, I've only been here 2.5 months, and it's been a learning experience for me, but it's been, I've been through the blizzard, I've been through the worst winter in New York history, the terrible things that went through on in Orienta. We're working on the budget, so it's been a very busy 2.5 months.
One of the things I think village residents might like to know is if they have a suggestion about the way they see something wrong, or in their opinion it's wrong, or they'd like to see something corrected, do they get in touch with you or with the mayor or what?
Oh, absolutely. Anybody who calls my office, I will always call them back if I'm not available to talk to them at that time. Believe me, I'm one person, and if anybody has an idea, please share it with me, and we'll look into it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But believe me, there's a lot of good ideas out there, and I'm not the only person who has ideas, and I'd like to hear them and like to investigate them.
Because the thought occurred to me the other day when I was going to the train station, and here I saw the Metro North crews repairing the one access to the ramp leading up to the train station, fixing granted the potholes needed fixing, but they're fixing it during rush hour when everybody's trying to get up to the train station. I thought, this is crazy.
That's true. That does not make a lot of sense.
So I didn't know who to complain to, Mr. Metro North, or maybe ask the village manager or somebody that would, at least carry some weight to, this is a legitimate complaint that some people might have.
Well, ultimately in situations like that, if they call my office, I will make the phone call to Metro North. I have certain contacts with Metro North that we've developed over the years, and I know people, and I'll make some phone calls and try to make sure that does not happen again.
I guess one of the big projects too this spring, everybody's really going to be watching a border collie running around Harbor Island chasing Canada geese, right?
Absolutely. We are moving forward on that project very quickly, and so we should have a dog on board next month sometime.
Okay. Is there anything you care to say to the village of Mamaroneck while you have a chance here this election evening?
Other than the fact that it's been a terrific 2.5 months, and I'm looking forward to a very long tenure here in the village.
Okay.
The David's Island Donald Trump seesaw. To find out the latest, here is Larchmont Mamaroneck community news reporter Kathryn Caywood.
When we first learned of Donald Trump's interest in David's Island, he wanted to build 2,000 apartments there. But this plan was changed into 47 mansions on David's Island and 12 condos at the Fort Slocum dock. Supposedly, Trump learned only recently about Con Ed's underground power lines and Con Ed's ownership of 10% of the island, and about the island being labeled as a hazardous waste site. All of these things would present marketing difficulties if one is marketing to the very rich. So Trump reverted to his original plan of building 2,000 apartments and asked for a $3 million reduction in the price of the island. Mayor Timmy Doney says that New Rochelle will probably not pursue any further development plans with Mr. Trump. However, the city may still be dealing with him, as Trump wants his $500,000 deposit returned, and the city of New Rochelle plans to keep it. Since Trump left the picture, several other developers have expressed an interest in David's Island, but the city council will probably wait until the waterfront plan is complete before they seriously consider any other offers. And this process could take 9 months.
Larchmont Mamaroneck is moving into the future, and soon will have its very own tarot card reader. With an interview, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
I looked in the cards and I knew you were coming today.
You're a psychic too.
Yeah,
Huh?
how did I know you were coming? What cards did I use to tell me that?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, there's a lot of traveling cards and there's a lot of interesting Make-A-Wish cards, so maybe you got one of those too.
But you will be dealing with tarot cards.
That's exactly right.
And you will be on LMC-TV?
Yes, we're starting a live call-in show on March 29th, which is a Friday, and then starting in the month of April, we'll be on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday from 8 to 8:30.
you'll be reading the cards?
Yes. Again, it's a live call-in show, so everyone can call in and ask their questions about relationships or career or anything they want to ask at all, and we'll do readings there on the show.
Oh, they call in the question.
Yes.
You will have the cards. And how many cards are in a tarot deck?
There's about 72, and they're divided into actually 5 sections. The first section is called the Major Arcana and has to do with the journey of your life path or the journey of your soul. And the other 4 sections are the swords, the cups, the pentacles, and the wands, and they all have to do with different parts of your life, whether it's creativity or emotions or thoughts.
Oh, and just by calling up, what type of question would be a proper question for tarot?
I think 9 out of 10 times they ask me who the new person is coming into their life or whether they're staying with the person that they're with. Oh. So that's a little touchy. You have to be careful about how you answer that question. But
and all can be answered through the cards?
Everything can be answered through the cards.
Oh, now if I sat in and I read the card, could I read the cards immediately?
No. Actually, I've been doing this for 5 years, and I took 3 years worth of classes in order to learn to read them. Because not only does each card have its own meaning, but when it's in a group together, the meaning changes slightly.
Oh, so we can find out all of this on March 29th, on Friday, the first show, and then henceforth in April on Wednesdays.
That's exactly.
Well, welcome to LMC TV.
Thank you very much.
Plans by New York City Mayor Rudolph Giuliani to sell the New York City water system to the New York City Water Board have come under attack by Westchester County legislator George Latimer. The proposal calls for the New York City government to receive a payment from the New York City Water Board, which would allow for $1 billion for the city's capital improvements. The sale of the bonds necessary for the Water Board to purchase the water system would be amortized by increased rates for water users in the years to come. Those water users include about 85% of all Westchester County residents. Critics of the planned sale of the water system have said that this would increase water rates substantially. And according to George Latimer, Mayor Giuliani's plan has already been met by opposition from the New York City Comptroller, the environmental community, and the Natural Resources Defense Council.
The scene of a tragic accident is recalled by an article in the Daily Times. Here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joe Haviland with the story.
Earlier this month, on March 17th, John Pinchbeck of Terrytown revisited the scene of the deadly crash he was involved in 17 years ago. The crash, which occurred in front of McDonald's restaurant in Mamaroneck, had left 2 people dead, 2 injured, and Pinchbeck, a teenager at the time, charged with 2 counts of criminally negligent homicide. He served 2 months in jail and 58 months on probation. It was on March 17, 1979, that Pinchbeck and a close friend were drag racing down the post road in Mamaroneck. His 1968 Mustang was forced off the road by a brown Camaro, striking 4 workers from the Tung Hoi restaurant. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone, to kill anyone," Pinchbeck said in a Daily Times interview on the 17th anniversary of the accident. "I was a stupid kid, a wild kid," he was quoted as saying. For Pinchbeck, now 35, it was his first visit to the scene since the crash. He came with roses, tulips, and lacy ferns in hand in memory of the victims. By his side was his 8-year-old son, John Jr. For Pinchbeck, laying flowers at the accident that happened almost 2 decades ago was his way of seeking forgiveness, and a way perhaps to lay this part of his past to rest. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Joe Haviland.
Many area residents have already started, but just to remind you that it's spring cleanup time. Here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
Spring cleaning time is here again. Curbside pickup will continue until April 19th. Yard and household rubbish may be set out at the curb Mondays through Friday before 7 a.m. Leaves and yard debris must be bagged and tied. Pieces of wood should be cut down to 4 feet or less. Furniture is limited to 2 pieces per collection. Latex paint cans should contain dry paint. Ceramic bathroom items should be left whole with the metal removed. Boxes and bags should not exceed more than 75 pounds. If in doubt, call Mamaroneck Yard 381-7825. In Larchmont, 834-6965.
Where has our weatherman or weather person been? It seems EdMuir wanted to enjoy the last vestige of winter and not be with us last week. Now that spring is here, what can we look forward to from Mother Nature? Our very own Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News weatherman, EdMuir. Ed?
Well, even though the calendar may say it's the first full week of spring, you wouldn't know it by some of the weather we're seeing in some parts of the country. Last week, southern Indiana saw up to 1.5 feet of snow, and that was the flip side of a storm that gave us a lot of rain, a lot of wind, and even some thunder and lightning. And amazingly, we're going to see nearly an identical storm to that one. A sprawling, slow-moving storm is basically going to be a thorn in the entire eastern half of the country's side, and particularly our side for the first half of the week, once again giving us a lot of rain, wind, and once again the chance for a little bit of flooding, but luckily the snow is going to stay far to our north and far to our west. But at any rate, the 5-day forecast is not much of a bargain. Monday, mostly cloudy in anticipation of that storm, high of only 49 degrees. The rain should arrive by Tuesday, high of about 48 degrees. Continuing into Wednesday will the rain be, high of only 47 degrees, but we finally turn the corner by Thursday, partly cloudy, high of about 50 degrees, and then we should end up the week on a downright nice note, actually seeing the sun, high of 52 degrees. Well, at least the good side is that for once this winter, even though now it's spring, we're on the warm side of a storm. Of course, warm is a relative term, but when it's in the 40s, at least you know that we're getting liquid precipitation, not frozen, but looks like this Midwest will get, once again, snow this time. For us, though, it looks like we're pretty much out of the woods in terms of at least accumulating snow, but after the 5th straight month of above average snowfall, adding up to the snowiest winter on record, I'm certainly not going to go out on a limb and guarantee anything, not after this brutal winter. So till next time, for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm EdMuir. Enjoy the weather.
County Legislator George Latimer offers information on rabies and Lyme disease through his office. Latimer warns that continued public education about rabies and Lyme disease is crucial to prevent tragic incidents like the death of a Greenwich teenager caused by an infection with rabies last summer. To obtain information materials, you can call his office at 914-285-2802. There are 2 numbers of the Westchester County Health Department that you might also want to keep in your file. You can reach the rabies hotline at 914-593-5210, and for Lyme disease, the number to call is 914-593-5963.
What's all this talk about ergonomics? Here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood with an interview to help explain.
Robin, you're an ergonomic trainer and counselor?
Consultant, yes.
Consultant. Mm-hmm. What is ergonomics?
Ergonomics actually is derived from the Greek words ergos, meaning work, and nomos, meaning law. So actually ergonomics is fitting the workstation to the individual and the environment to the individual versus making the individual cramp up and fit into the environment.
So you work both with corporate America and individuals at home?
Yes, actually I do training programs for corporate America and consulting programs with them as well. And then for those individuals that want to have their workstations at home looked at, I'm happy to do that as well.
How would ergonomics relate to carpal tunnel syndrome?
Well, carpal tunnel syndrome, as you know, is the inflammation of the carpal tunnel in your wrist, and that's caused by deviations in the wrist and movements. And anytime there's an excess of deviation in the wrist, it can actually cause problems. Some of the things that you might do at home that would cause that are perhaps hammering a lot, carrying children if you cramp your arm, or carrying groceries, and also typing at a workstation. If you type and your wrists are flexed, it can cause carpal tunnel problems.
And what about sleeping with carpal tunnel syndrome?
Well, that's a good area too, actually. A lot of people sleep and they curl their pillows at night, and they curl their wrists around their pillows and they hug them. And that constant hugging problem, or that constant curling issue, is a very bad problem for people because they don't realize at night that they're doing it.
So you work both in the tri-state area?
Actually, I work internationally as well as throughout the United States, yes.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our listeners in closing?
Well, just anytime you do ergonomics and you do ergonomics training, it generally results in a $4 savings anytime you have an education program in safety and health. And ergonomics is a bottom line issue. It actually saves money for corporations and individuals in the long run because you actually capture the injury earlier on, so it's less expensive to fix, and people become more productive when they're happier at work.
Thank you for being with us, Robin.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
The Mamaroneck Village residents have been recycling metals, glass, and newspapers for a couple of years now. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News spoke with Mamaroneck Village trustee Martha Sokol-McCarty about whether recycling is successful in the village.
Well, we recycled 22 tons, which is pretty good. I mean, that's 22 tons that otherwise would have been garbage. The only thing that we're a little concerned is because that's the same amount we recycled in '94. So we would like to see that number go up.
And so what are you going to do to see the number go up?
Well, we just want to remind everybody that besides newspapers, they can throw in their magazines, they can throw in telephone books, and most importantly, all that junk mail that they're used to throwing away, and I know I get tons of it. I now just stick it in my box with my newspapers, and that can go out too. The other thing that we're going to do in maybe a couple of months is our garbage men are going to start getting a little bit tougher. And if they see someone with an obvious recyclable in their garbage, they're going to slap a sticker on you, and they're not going to take your garbage. You'll have to remove the glass or metal, usually we're talking about.
But you're not going to be fined yet, because I guess under the law you can actually be fined.
Yes, well, under the law you can actually be fined, but we're going to try and give people plenty of warning. And I have to also add, in the multi-family apartments, we're going to, some of them are great, but some of them are really bad, and we're going to start getting tougher with them, and they really have to comply, because a lot of people do recycle. We figure we're at about 39% of our households, but obviously we'd like that number to go up.
And again, I guess we should just maybe briefly mention that you have to recycle glass, and I guess plastics number 1 and 2.
Plastics 1 and 2, metal.
The numbers on the bottom, just for those people who are not aware of it. Metal, and then newspapers, and I guess it's new that we can recycle magazines, telephone books, junk mail. That was not part of the initial.
Correct.
stuff.
And also a fairly new thing is that you can recycle aerosol cans, but not for anything that's like a bug spray, like shaving cream, hairspray, anything that's kind of non-toxic. They don't want anything like WD-40 or something that would be a hazardous poison.
Someone has a question. Who should they call?
Well, they can call the village manager's office at 777-7703, or even on, I don't have the number, but Westchester County has some great recycling handouts that I'm sure they'd be happy to send you.
High Tech is coming to Mamaroneck High School. On Thursday, doors at Mamaroneck High School will open for the second annual Technology Fair. That's this Thursday, with the opening times and a couple of other technological details. Here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
On Thursday, March 28th, from 3 p.m. until 9 p.m., the second annual Technology Fair will be held at the Mamaroneck High School. The theme is MC equals E square, which is maximized classroom technology equals enhanced education. Prodigy, Apple, Microsoft, Scholastic, and the Learning Company are expected to participate. Many of the vendors will be offering mini classes. Residents will be able to see students demonstrating the use of computers in school. Everyone is welcomed to attend.
Last Thursday was Lenny Verastro Day in the village of Mamaroneck. Lenny Verastro, as most of our viewers will know, is the village clerk treasurer, and he has also filled in twice already in the 16 years of service to the community as village manager. The event was held at Mamaroneck Beach and Yacht Club, and more than 100 people attended this event in honor of Lenny Verastro. And we thank Debbie Slansky for providing us with the video.
Yeah, a well-deserved tribute to Lenny Verastro. Congratulations. Also at Larchmont Library, there's a new display on tap. Jamie Stein of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News has compiled a report.
There are a lot of exciting events happening at the Larchmont Public Library throughout the end of March. To start off, in the children's room, 5 children from Larchmont are showing off their artistic abilities, with artwork ranging from ships to planes to Russian dolls to the whole medieval times. And also, where I am right now, is the Orrisman Gallery located on the lower level, where the Westchester Photographic Society is also showing off their artwork. Artwork such as print ranging from nature to Ellis Island to collages. You really feel like you're in a museum. So why not come down to the Larchmont Public Library and check out all the local artists in our area. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, in the Larchmont Public Library, I'm Jamie Stein.
And that's it for another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. In case you missed any portion of this news program, you can see it again.
This program is aired weekdays around 1 p.m. and again at 7 p.m. on LMC-TV, channel 14. Not just that, during the day, you can call up Studio 2 at 381-0131 and ask to see this week's news program.
The crew at LMC-TV will do their best to put the news show on at a time you can see it. Remember the number to call during the day, 381-0131. And after 4 p.m., call 698-6808 and ask LMC-TV if you can see the news show.
This program is an all-volunteer effort, and it's fun. Also, it's a great give back to the community. Why not join us? Drop by and check us out almost any Thursday night at LMC-TV Studios.
We're located in the Palmer Avenue side of Mamaroneck High School, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. We get things going around 7 p.m.
If you have any comments or suggestions, please send them to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane in Mamaroneck. Zip code is 10543.
Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Sven, and we'll see you again next time.
By the way, if you didn't look outside, we are now in our first full week of springtime. Enjoy.
It's a bit difficult to notice.
The weather's getting better. Mamaroneck Village residents look at a possibly double-digit tax increase.
Construction causes a Larchmont parking crunch.
Spring break for Ryeneck is spared.
Something to cheer about at Saints John and Paul.
Mamaroneck's Spencer Avenue lot may go to shoppers.
Some changes on the TCI cable lineup.
And we'll have some of our regular features, including a report from our very own weatherman.
It's all on Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Welcome to another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Alicia Myro. Our top story.
Last week we told you about Larchmont's proposed budget for the next fiscal year, an increase of 5.6% for Larchmonters if the budget passes as it is. This week it's Mamaroneck's village turn, and it's a proposed increase of taxes at nearly a double-digit level, 9.6%. Village Manager Michael Blau did the work on the budget, and the new Board of Trustees has yet to make changes and approve it. Also, there will be a public hearing on the budget sometime in April. The increase is almost $1 million more than spending than the current year's budget. Included, though, is the debt service payment of more than $2,600,000 a year. Also, an extra $60,000 a year for snow removal. This winter's snow removal costs more than $200,000. Mayor Joe Lanza is quoted in the Daily Times saying that he hoped the tax increase could be brought down. No village programs are proposed to be cut, but that may change as the trustees take a closer look. If you live in Mamaroneck Village and want to give your opinion on the proposed budget, give Village Hall a call and ask them when the public hearing for the budget will be held. It'll be sometime in April. Alicia?
Well, some Larchmont Mamaroneck Metro North commuters may be kicked out of train station parking lots in the coming months. Construction at both Larchmont Village and Mamaroneck town-owned lots at the Larchmont train station will certainly inconvenience a handful of residents. Larchmont-owned lots will displace 35 Mamaroneck residents as it is renovated over the next 2 years in conjunction with I-95 reconstruction. Mamaroneck town-owned lots have required 47 non-residents to find alternate parking. Both municipalities are feeling the crunch as angry residents cry out. Mamaroneck has already oversold its lot by issuing 255 permits for 90 metered spots. There are another 214 spaces restricted to residents who buy a pricier permit. Larchmont and Mamaroneck continue to search for a solution, as do other municipalities such as New Rochelle, which has a waiting list of several hundred people for train station parking. If you have any suggestions or would like to voice your concerns, Mamaroneck Town Board will hold a second hearing on April 17th.
It may not be long before shoppers in Mamaroneck Village have some new parking spaces. Details on this story from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joe Haviland.
A proposal has been drafted by the Village of Mamaroneck to install meters at half of the parking spaces in the Spencer Avenue lot, located directly behind the Mamaroneck Avenue shopping corridor. Answering to the continuing complaints by merchants and shoppers about the lack of convenient parking along Mamaroneck Avenue, the Mamaroneck Avenue Task Force, which is made up of merchants and village officials, came up with this solution. If approved, 23 of a total 46 permit holder only spaces will be metered. The 46-space Spencer lot was opened originally for use by employees of stores along Mamaroneck Avenue to prevent them from parking on the avenue. While many village residents think it's a good idea, some feel it doesn't go far enough. Like Miranda Sanchez of Mamaroneck, who finds Mamaroneck Avenue always busy. In a Daily Times interview recently, Ms. Sanchez said, "I don't think it will be enough." A public hearing on the proposal is scheduled for the village's May 27 board meeting. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Joe Haviland.
Over on Weaver Street, Saints John and Paul had some award-winning cheerleaders, and Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joan Brescia spoke with them.
Today I'm speaking with Kelly Piccolo, Kristen Brescia, and Nicole Marmon, captains of the Saints John and Paul cheerleading squad. Girls, thank you for joining me here today.
You're welcome.
Nicole, I understand you had this very exciting event this past weekend at Fordham University. Could you tell us about it?
Well, we went to the regionals of New York State, I guess you could say, and it was against 15 teams from Westchester, Staten Island, the Bronx, Rockland County, and Dutchess, and we placed 9th, and a lot of people were very disappointed that we placed that much because everybody was very amazed at our cheer, and it was different than we normally do, so.
It's great. I got a chance to look at that cheer, and I observed it, and I was a little bit into that cheer. It's very, very beautiful, and I think you were robbed. That's my own opinion.
That's what everybody said to us.
So let's talk about Westchester County competition. Kristen, how'd you do in that?
We did really good in that. We got second place out of four teams, and we did our cheer not as good as we did at Fordham, but everyone still loved it, and we got second place.
That's great. Now, is it easy to be a cheerleader, Kelly?
Well, not exactly, because there's still a lot of running and stretching to music, and it's kind of like a sport to us. But
how many times a week do you practice?
But like, depending on if we have competition, usually for just regular games, we just practice like 2 times a week, and for competition, depends. Like,
that's great.
5 days a week, I guess.
It's a lot of work, so it's really a sport.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get a chance to see because we have some footage from the Fordham competition, and I think our viewers are going to be really excited about it. Can you describe practice a little bit to us, Kelly?
Well, we run a lot. We stretch to music. We eat. And
is that the reward?
Yeah, it's our reward. And I guess that's pretty much what we do.
That's great. Kristen, how long have you been a cheerleader?
I've been a cheerleader since 4th grade, and I'm now in 8th grade. And it started on Pep Squad, and I loved it, and we kept on going, and we kept on winning. And I love the team. It's like a family. And I just really love it, and that's why I'm staying on it.
That's great. Nicole, you think the possibilities for high school are there? You think you'll try out for the high school team?
I'm going to be trying out for varsity in May.
Mamaroneck?
Mamaroneck. Or whatever the tryouts are.
Go team. Kristen, how about you in high school?
I think I will try out for the Ursuline team because they are really good, and they went to Florida this year.
Whoa, that's a good thing to look forward to. And you, Cal, what about you?
I think I'll try out for Mamaroneck, but I love it, so I probably will, but I never know.
Well, continued good success in this, girls, and thank you for joining me here today. For the Larchmont and Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Joan Brescia.
The harsh weather this past winter caused local area schools to close for a record number of snow days, which is causing school boards to focus hard on how to rearrange spring breaks without compromising education. Parents, students, and teachers of the Rhinebeck School District will add 2 extra days to the student calendar and 3 for teachers in order to maintain their normal spring break schedule. The Rhinebeck Board of Education unanimously decided to do it based on a group of 45 students and 6 staff members who will be going to England and Italy, and many families that had vacations planned before the big snows hit us. Students will attend school on April 8th and May 24th, which were originally listed as vacation days at the beginning of the school year. Teachers will also add on June 24th and are encouraged to use the day as a day to pack up classrooms for the big move to Daniel Warren School, discuss curriculum changes, or other initiatives. Rhinebeck Teachers Association President Nicholas Pagliuca objected to the 3rd Teachers Only Day. He thought students should be included too. There may be no perfect solution, but compromise is something that must also be learned.
Now that the political makeup of the Mamaroneck Village Board has been determined, the trustees are setting priorities and testing their compatibility of the 3-2 Republican to Democrat ratio. The winning Democrats, Archie Giannunzio and Steve Goldstein, have made no secret of their task at hand as far as they're concerned. They plan to take a fine-tooth comb through the Harbor Island renovation project to find out if the village really got its money's worth in the nearly $2.5 million facelift. Also, the Democrats want to take another microscope to the Regatta condominium project that's being built on Mamaroneck Avenue, a stone's throw from the Post Road and Harbor Island. If the Democrats had their druthers, they would drop the Regatta project. They say the village should not be in the real estate business. The Republicans, however, see the development as a way to attract new residents to the village, as well as improving the viability and appearance of the Mamaroneck Business District. A footnote to the March 19 election, Mamaroneck Village election Democrat Gloriana Palancia pushed for a recounting of the votes. And while the recount did change her standing in the election, she still did not get enough votes to win a trustee seat. Palancia got 10 more votes than defeated Republican trustee Todd Noble, but still 33 votes behind winner Martha Sokol McCarty, the Republican incumbent who kept her trustee seat at Village Hall. Alicia?
Well, now that the March elections are over, Larchmont's almost completely Democratic Board of Trustees is getting busy. The board's initiatives include the renovation of Village Yard, finding ways to pay for expensive sewer repairs, and updating the master plan, which is an overall guide for development. It's been 10 years since the last master plan, and Mayor Louis, as quoted in the Daily Times, says it's a very appropriate time to analyze how we deliver our services. Louis hopes to increase the plan's original scope of zoning issues to include housing services for seniors, parks, the business district, and parking. In addition, the board will also continue its investigation of merging police and fire departments with other municipalities. The police study is being done by the State Division of Criminal Justice Services, and the fire study is being done by a private company. This is an important step as Larchmont has among the highest per capita cost for fire protection in the county. It seems Larchmont Village will have its hands full with a multitude of issues as it continues to bring a sense of community to its residents.
A burglar on the run and may still be on the run. On Monday, March 25th, just before noon, a burglary was reported in progress at a house on Waverly Avenue in Mamaroneck Village. The owner of the house called police, and as the patrol cars were driving up, the burglar fled on foot with the cops in pursuit. The police did not catch the burglar, but the burglar did leave his car behind with some of the homeowner's stolen property inside the vehicle. The incident is still under investigation.
Well, taking a look at Larchmont and Mamaroneck's history from a local student's perspective, Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News reporter Carol Martin has more.
7th graders at Hammock School in Mamaroneck took a trip through time, revisiting the 300-year history of their community. Points of interest along the route through Mamaroneck and Larchmont included Richbell Cemetery in Orienta, where town founder John Richbell and his wife are buried, the Fenimore Road home of Norman Rockwell, where students found it most interesting that he dropped out of Mamaroneck High School to go to art school, the Glacial Rock on Chatsworth Avenue, and Peter Monroe House, which was a stop on the Underground Railroad. The 2-hour trip also included Harbor Island Park and the site of the Battle of Heathcote Hill, Mamaroneck's claim to fame in the Revolutionary War. The October 1776 skirmish occurred when George Washington sent in troops to do hand-in-hand battle with British troops who had encamped in the village, taking over the site of what is now Central School. Planning for the trip began several months ago and incorporated lessons in English, science, and social studies. For Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News, this is Carol Martin.
We would like to welcome Carol Martin as the newest member of our Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News team. Keep up the good work. If you would like to join us putting this program together, we'll have details at the end of the show.
Well, a newsletter from Westchester County Legislator George Latimer. The story from Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood.
George Latimer, the minority leader of the Westchester County Board of Legislatures, has praise for the county's legislative package, which will be presented to the state legislature in its 1996 session. Both the county legislature and the county executive support this package. The package includes state takeover of county Medicaid costs. New York State is one of only 11 states that requires county governments to fund welfare programs. One of the problems here is that these costs grow faster than inflation, and then we have to cut back on other programs in order to have enough money for the welfare programs. The legislative package also includes a change in governments for the county medical center, grant funding for economic development, repeal or modification of the costly WICS law, restoration of state funding for the Title 20 daycare, and permanent state funding for services to children with developmental disabilities. George Latimer is the minority leader of the Westchester County Board of Legislatures and represents the 7th District, which serves Rice City, Larchmont, Mamaroneck, Scarsdale, and White Plains. For Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathryn Caywood.
A local student appearing at the Emmeline. Details from Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joe Haviland.
Week, Alexa Papazian, a senior at Mamaroneck High School, will take center stage with her flute when she performs works by the likes of Corelli, Telemann, and Rimsky-Korsakov. On Monday night, she will present an evening of flute masterpieces. Joanne Procell will accompany her on piano. Ms. Papazian is one of 3 Mamaroneck High School students who are slated to perform in this year's main stage recital series. Madeline Cavallari, a violinist, and Ehud Asheri, a jazz pianist, both juniors will participate in their own concerts at a later date. In an interview with the Daily Times, David Watson, the Emlyn Theater director, said, "We thought it important for the Emlyn to give these young people an opportunity to perform in a professional setting. In this way, their friends and other people in the community could hear and be inspired by them." The series was created last year when Alex Romanoff of Mamaroneck High School's music department approached the Emlyn with the idea of showcasing the musical talents of high school students who have the skill and repertoire to perform an entire program. Ms. Papazian, who's performed a solo in December at the White House, started playing the flute at Murray Elementary School in Larchmont. The students will donate the Emlyn performance fees to charity. Ms. Papazian's will go to the Elms for Animal Shelter, Ms. Cavallari's to the Life Center, and Mr. Asheri's to I Care. Ms. Papazian's performance will begin at 7:30 p.m. Monday night at the Emlyn Theater at Library Lane in Mamaroneck. Tickets are $5. For more information, call 698-0098. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Joe Haviland.
The screwy weather we've had this year has continued into spring, but things are warming up. Let's check with our very own weatherman here at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, Ed Muir. Ed?
Well, it seems as if we've gotten the short end of the stick once again. March not only came in like a lion, but it basically went out like one too, with a little bit of snowfall in the last few days of the month. However, that storm is going to be paving the way for improving weather this week, because initially it's going to move off and give us some northwesterly winds, initially cooler and sort of still cloudy weather, but eventually high pressure is going to move out from the Midwest, and on the tail end of that, we're going to get southwesterly winds, boosting our temperatures consistently during the week. However, to give you a picture of how deep the hole is we're trying to get out of, even our warm temperatures are barely going to be normal, and certainly not the kind of temperatures evocative of the first week of baseball season. So the 5-day forecast looks something like this. Monday, sort of cloudy and a little bit raw, high of only 48 degrees, maybe even a lingering shower, but we do partially clear out for Tuesday, high of 51 degrees, and the warm-up continues for Wednesday, mostly sunny, 53. Thursday, mid-50s under mostly sunny skies, but we regress to end up the week a little bit. Chance for rain, high of only 50 degrees. So even though the calendar may say April, winter is still trying to sock it to us one last time, and certainly more unheard of things have happened. Take April of 1982 when we got a 9 or 10 inch snowfall around here, so don't necessarily put away that snow shovel yet. However, the good point is, I guess, that once the warmth does arrive, we'll be so unused to it that it'll be all the more gratifying. Unfortunately, though, we're going to have to delay that gratification at least one more week. So till next time, for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Ed Muir. Enjoy the weather.
Adjusting to time zones. It affects the body, and Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood has an interview about it.
Dr. Filippi, daylight savings time is coming soon, and some people make the transition easily, but other people have a difficult time with it. What recommendations do you have?
Well, for those people that are kind of the coffee achievers that need 4 or 5 hits on the alarm clock to get up in the morning, what they're experiencing is a sluggish thyroid metabolism. Sometimes that comes from the overall endocrine or hormonal susceptibility people have that, for example, people that suffer depression in the winter go through that seasonal affective disorder, the winter depression, winter blues. We're really not in a full spring type of environment yet. If you look out the window in the last couple of days, the temperature fluctuates all over the place. So the internal clock, the body clock, has to be reset. So to get the thyroid moving and get it motivated again and get it so that it can accommodate to this change, you want to give it the resources it needs. So phosphorus is important. That helps balance the pH. So apples and pears, for example, have that. Vitamin B6, some red cabbage or oatmeal, things like that. Another one would be vitamin C, overall helping the tissues rejuvenate themselves. So,
what about exercises that we can do?
Yeah, exercise is important because, again, in the spring, the acupuncture system teaches us that the liver and the gallbladder are going to be the 2 organs that are going to be really going to be getting more and more messages as you get more active, because they function with the blood sugar and the bile in the system. So your body's going to be moving more as you get more light. We're attracted to light, kind of like the bugs. We go outside. It's going to be lighter out later in the day, so are we going to be outside. So to get that system moving, you want to emphasize the morning hours. hours. Getting up early in the morning, giving yourself extra time to stretch. I teach some balancing exercises in the office. Anyone can stop by. I have a two-sided form that just gives you kind of a basic thing to check yourself.
Oh, so someone could just stop in your office and pick up the form?
Yep, we call it Spring Smarts. It gives you kind of a strategy, breaks it down from physical behaviors, some of the chemical things you can add to your diet, as well as mentally focusing yourself on activity instead of thinking, which is what you did all winter when you were cooped up inside. So it's time to kind of stretch and wake up.
What's happening with our cable operator? Some new channels and other changes. Details from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Carol Martin.
After complaints prompted a 2-month delay, TCI Cable of Westchester is going ahead with plans to drop a channel available for amateur cable television shows. A public access channel that could be seen in all the communities served by the company will be eliminated as of May 1st. Local public access channels, usually 3 to a community, will not be affected. Federal regulations are forcing TCI to add 2 new stations to its lineup, and TCI needs Channel 8, the system-wide public access channel, for other programs. During the 2-month postponement, the company has worked with communities to find alternatives, such as pooling one of the local channels to form a substitute channel with TCI's help. TCI also hopes to add more coverage of Westchester County on Channel 10, where the company's locally produced programs are shown. Many communities are still trying to fight the change, staging demonstrations in protest. In the meantime, producers will keep trying to find a place for their programming. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Carol Martin.
And that's it for another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. In case you missed any portion of this program, you can see it again.
This program is aired weekdays at 7 p.m. on LMC-TV Channel 14. Also, during the day, after 2 p.m., you can call up and ask to see this week's news program.
The crew at LMC-TV will do their best to put the news show on at a time that you can see it. Remember, the number to call after 4 p.m., call 698-6808. And if you ask LMC-TV nicely, if you can see the news show, you just might be able to.
This program is an all-volunteer effort, and it's a fun give back to the community. Why not join us? Drop by and check us out almost any Thursday night at LMC TV Studio.
We're located in the LMC TV studios in Mamaroneck High School on the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. We get things going around 7 o'clock.
If you have any comments or suggestions, please send them to us. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Alicia Myro. We'll see you next time.
And we now begin our countdown to summer, only 11 weeks away. And this little note before we sign off today, we would like to thank Marco Ricci, the production supervisor at LMC TV's Studio Number 2 over at the Emlyn Theater. He's been the production coordinator there for nearly 2 years, and he's going to work on some independent projects. And he is now history. We'll have more on Marco Ricci's departure, as well as what's happening over at LMC TV Studio Number 2 in another program.
Have a pleasant Passover and a happy Easter.
Larchmont parking leaders starting to take their toll on commuters' nerves.
Mamaroneck School District budget vote set for May 8th as selection committee unveils its 2 candidates.
Rhineck's popular summer school.
Mamaroneck floats bond to pay for the winter of '96's snow removal.
It is not only snow that can close a school.
Many faiths, one community demonstrated by placards.
Plus, we'll have some of our regular features, all on Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Hello and welcome to another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Glenna Gray. Our top story.
Some problems with the new high-tech parking meters installed at the Larchmont Metro North train station. A story in the Daily Times says village officials report the meters are jamming and also shredding dollar bills. The 6 new meters, known as multi-space meters, were installed at the beginning of the year and cost Larchmont $100,000. The newspaper quotes Larchmont Mayor Cheryl Louis saying that the meters are not working as well as they would like them to work. The entire matter is being reassessed, and the village is working with the manufacturer. It's still undecided whether the machines will be removed. The meters are made by Schlumberger Technologies of Chesapeake, Virginia. There also have been at least 4 incidents of vandalism against the machines. Stay tuned.
Through the efforts of Marty Venert, the Larchmont Mamaroneck community has taken another step forward in galvanizing harmony in our community. Placards with a blue-rimmed dove and the words Mamaroneck Larchmont, quote, many faiths, one community, unquote, were painted and distributed to businesses, schools, and residents. The placards should be displayed for everyone to see. Printcraft produced the placards with no charge for labor. The villages and towns provided the materials. Mr. Venert believes if everyone displays the symbol, we will all be one, and therefore no family can be singled out. A bias task force composed of local clergy, school officials, community and government leaders are developing an anti-bias education program for adults and children.
Another election is almost upon us. May 8th, residents in the Mamaroneck School District will vote on 2 new school board members and also vote on the district budget. School Board President Penny Oberg is stepping down this year, along with board member Ellen Freeman. Both have served 2 consecutive 3-year terms. The non-political group known as the Selection Committee in the district interviewed prospective candidates over the past couple months. And out of the 6 interviewed, the committee last week announced there are 2 candidates for the seats being vacated. April Farber of Mamaroneck and Rhonda Lussman-Winnick of Larchmont. Selection Committee Chair Sidney Unger said these 2 candidates of the 6 showed a particular commitment to the community, service, and public education. It appears the 2 will be shoo-ins to serve on the board because, barring a last-minute candidate after this program was recorded, the 2 will run unopposed. April Farber has been a Mamaroneck resident for 9 years and teaches in Greenwich, and is a past president of the Mamaroneck League of Women Voters. She has a son at the Hummocks, and her daughter graduated from Mamaroneck High School last year. Rhonda Winnick has lived in the district for 8 years and been an assistant attorney general in the New York State Criminal Prosecutions Bureau. Her 2 children attend Murray Avenue School, and she's a former member of the Murray Avenue Space Committee.
State police, troopers, and the FBI and local authorities continue to investigate the spray painting of the Nazi swastika in Larchmont and Mamaroneck. More than $23,000 in reward money from private and governmental sources is being offered for information leading to an arrest in the Mamaroneck incidents. The process to find the culprit is slow and painstaking. However, Detective Andy Genovese of Mamaroneck continues to work on the case.
Summer school in Rhineck, not quite what many of us think as summer school in the past. More from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joe Haviland.
Summer school for kids who are doing well? There was a time when attending summer school was a punishment of sorts for not making the grade in the regular academic school year. That image is changing here in the Rhineck School District. Last year, a full 20% of the 150 elementary and middle school students who attended Rhineck's summer school program went voluntarily. For these children who were already doing well in school, summer vacation represented another opportunity to expand their educational horizons, and they didn't miss out on summer either. After taking morning academic courses, including math and language arts, they stayed at the middle school for Mamaroneck Village's afternoon recreation program. Of course, the remaining 80% still attended Rhineck summer school last year because they were failing 2 or more courses during the regular school year. In an interview with the Daily Times, Superintendent Peter Mustich said the data shows that students have succeeded with this additional help. The summer program, which started 4 years ago, grew out of the Rhineck School Board's 1992 vote to establish an all-regions high school. Mustich said it resulted in the need for higher academic standards throughout the district. The cost of the 4-week program is $175. Scholarships are available for some students. Contact the Rhineck School District for details about this summer's program. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Joe Haviland.
Wintry weather is not always the reason for school closings. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme tells us what happened at one of our area schools during the last week of March.
This winter, schools were closed due to heavy snowfalls a couple of times. Students at the Moak school complex experienced a different kind of school closing on the last Thursday of March. School had to be cancelled because there was no electrical power. Initial statements from Con Edison said that a defective underground cable was the cause of the power failure which struck the school on Wednesday night. Con Edison had crews working on restoring the power, but the workers were not able to do so before students were supposed to arrive for their classes on Thursday morning. School district officials were only informed at 7:15 on that Thursday, and within minutes the news of the school closing was snowballing throughout the area, a telephone chain working so well that only very few students showed up. On Friday, classes resumed. The good news for the students and the teachers, this lost school day does not have to be made up, unlike those lost to the snow this winter. Also affected by the blackout, the Moak's ice ring and the pool.
All the snow of the now legendary winter of '96 is just about gone. A few vestiges remain on the vacant lot of the old Pure Food site on Mamaroneck Avenue. In any event, the snow was abundant, and the snow removal was costly for the village of Mamaroneck, and less than $70,000 was budgeted for the task. It cost more than $200,000. As a result, the village has issued a $200,000 bond anticipation note. This short-term budget note allows the village to borrow the money to pay for the snow removal bill. Uncle Sam may help out a little bit on the bill, but only for the cost of clearing a single lane on major roads. The proposed budget, likely to be adopted later this month, calls for the village to set aside $127,500 for next winter's snow removal.
Teens paired with adults. The subject, religion. For details, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood.
The Reverend Richard Martin of the Larchmont Avenue Presbyterian Church decided to handle his confirmation class a bit differently this year. The teens in his confirmation class have been paired with adult mentors, and they discuss their faith together, visit other houses of worship, and volunteer with a charity. We hear that the teens have discovered that faith is not a destination, but a journey, and that the adult mentors have had to rethink some of their views on aspects of religion. Each week of the confirmation program focused on a different aspect of their religion. One week, the participants were asked to draw a picture of God as they imagined him when they were 5 or 6 years old, and then to draw a picture of him as they see him today. Reverend Martin based his program on one developed by a professor at the Duke University's School of Divinity. Some of the participants were confirmed on Palm Sunday, and others will be confirmed this month. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathryn Caywood.
Former Larchmont resident Gabrielle Kearns was shot in the head in front of her Brooklyn apartment building. The police have no suspects and no witnesses. Mrs. Kearns was taken to the intensive care unit of St. Vincent's Hospital in Manhattan. We wish you well.
And that's it for another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. In case you missed any portion of this news program, you can see it again.
This program is aired weekdays at 7 p.m. on LMC Channel 14. Also, if that time is not convenient for you, weekdays after 4 p.m., you can call up LMC at 698-6808 and ask to see the week's news program.
The crew at LMC-TV will do their best to put the news show on at a time that you can see it. Remember the number to call after 4 p.m., 698-6808, and ask LMC-TV if you can see the news show before 7 p.m.
This program is an all-volunteer effort, and it's a fun give back to the community. Why not join us? Drop by and check us out almost any Thursday night at LMC-TV Studios.
We're located in the LMC-TV studios of Mamaroneck High School on the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. We get things going around 7 o'clock.
If you have any comments or suggestions, please send them to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, 10543.
Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Glenna Gray.
We'll see you next time, and now it's only 10 weeks to summer.
Good old Mother Nature's still in there.
Area Eagle Scout soars, get a shot of the cover. This is take 2 on the opening.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Bill Littauer.
And I'm Roger Norum.
I'm Nina Nastis.
And I'm Julie O'Clair.
I'm Joanne Bordeaux.
And I'm Sven Ruel.
I'm Deborah Dorn.
And I'm Lynn Goodman.
If you're the parent of a 6th grade student starting the hummocks in the fall, you won't want to miss one of the tours being conducted right now of the hummocks.
Anyways, the vote on the Rhinebeck school bond issue was a strange one.
Here's a financial fact that might save you some big bucks.
Hi, Jim Thompson with the Wealth Accumulation Tip of the Week.
that's it for another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
This program is repeated Monday through Friday nights at 7 p.m. and midnight, and Tuesday through Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
And you can also call Studio 2 at 381-0131.
We're all volunteers here at the News Show, and we would like you to join our team.
And also, if you have a story or some video which you think we might want to use on this program, come by on a Thursday night, and we'll most likely use your story.
Another thought, if you would like to get involved in a community project, this news program is worth looking into.
We've seen some new faces in our program this week, and we not only want to welcome them, but it's a good way to point out that we're all volunteers and we're always looking for new talent, both in front of the camera and behind it.
We might be just what you're looking for.
Stop by any Thursday night around 7 p.m. We produce this program in the LMC-TV Studio 1.
It's up the stairs across from Walter's Hot Dogs. We work on the show every Thursday night starting around 7 o'clock.
Another reminder that we are all volunteers here, and it's a fun community activity.
Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Bill Littauer, and we'll see you again next week at the same time on LMC TV.